on the tip of my tongue. Bend my nail, bite my thumb. Evidence won't clear my name. Baby, in your presence will be so forever. Until the moment when my breath and my eyes shut. Now I'm ready. Anyone else is what we always wanted. Yeah, when we hold each other, nothing else can let us down. The only answer's what we've always wanted. I'll do anything. I'm not asking this is mine through the perfect strings. 10,000 days on this days to clear our names. Oh, baby, it's our last kiss. Will last forever. That's the moment when I rest my eyes shut. Now I'm praying. Yeah, the only answer's what we've always wanted. Ooh, when we hold each other, nothing else can let us down. The only answer's what we've always wanted. Oh, 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 oh. The only answer's what we've always wanted. Yeah, when we hold each other, nothing else can let us down. The only answer's what we've always wanted. Oh, oh, oh.
Victim, it's over! Top shelf where Mama hides the cookies! Here come the Buffalo Sabres!
Welcome, everybody, to I'll Hang Up and Listen. I am on location right now and apologize for the late starts. Sabres lose 3-1 to the St. Louis Blues. But before we get to that, to our presenting sponsor, make sure you go check out Fatty Beer, one of Western New York's premier market and tap rooms with 8 different Western New York locations and over 300 beers to choose from. Fatty Beer is one of Western New York's only both kid and dog-friendly bars with live entertainment at all locations 7 days a week, starting at 11:30 a.m. till 10:30 p.m. and later. And make sure you check out Buffalo Apparel at Buffalo Co. on Instagram and Twitter. They offer some of the best options for all of your shirts, your hats, your hoodies when it comes to all of your Buffalo sports needs. Check out Buffalo Apparel on, again, both Instagram and Twitter at Buffalo Co. and Fatty Beer at Fatty Beer. As you can see in the title of the show. I am, again, Duane Steinel, your host, riding solo tonight after a, I don't even know if you can even say devastating loss anymore. I mean, what else do we expect from this hockey team? It's same shit as always. I won't lie to you. I fell asleep during the third period of a 1-goal game. because they just bore me to death. They don't do the things necessary to win hockey games. They don't get to the net. They're not willing to take beatings below the dots in order to win hockey games. And again, once again, a great performance from your goaltender laid waste because you cannot score. It's gross. It's disgusting. I am fed up. And when is enough enough? For me, it's, I'm as passionate as I like to say that, I'm second to none when it comes to passion for this organization and this hockey team, but I'm just about my wit's end. Like I just said, I fell asleep during the third period of a 1-goal hockey game. I couldn't do it. And it's not even like the late game. It's a matinee game. I just I'm getting tired of being sold on hope with this coaching staff and this general manager. I'm done with it. Like, hope has run out. Let's be real. Hope has completely run out with this organization, and with all the rumors, the Casey Middlestat rumors that have come out over the last 24 hours, 48 hours about, they might be looking for a goaltender. They might be looking at John Gibson, looking to ship out Casey Middlestat because they don't want to pay him. We needed John Gibson at the start of last season. Now, goaltending isn't even your top 5 of any of your issues. So why are we sitting here talking about John fucking Gibson in February of a season that's all but lost? You know what we should be talking about? The coach, the general manager, why your top 6 forwards aren't contributing, why your bottom 6 more times than not is completely useless, why you still don't have a top 4 defenseman to play with Owen Power. And now, actually, no, we need 2 of those guys now, because unless you want to count Ryan Johnson as one of those guys, which they don't because they haven't played with Eric Johnson. You don't have Matthias Samuelsson, a guy who last year was, pretty much penciled in as your guy next to Dahlin. Obviously, and here's the thing about Matthias Samuelsson, people, especially on Twitter, on the Twitter app, like to get on his case. And I'm there every once in a while, but at the end of the day, I think that guy has been playing through a ton of pain up until his season ended. Like, he's constantly hurt. He's never at 100%. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that I'm still willing to hope that Matthias Samuelsson's game will turn around next season once he has a full bill of health and he can stay healthy. But Connor Clifton and Eric Johnson weren't it. You're probably trading Eric Johnson at the deadline, hoping to get as much as you possibly can from a team just desperate enough for a right-handed defenseman with experience and a ring on his and a Stanley Cup ring on his finger. You've no bottom 6 scoring. I'm a couple group chats that we constantly talk about this. If you have to trade Casey Middlestat, if that is where you're at, which I don't think you should be at that, he has been your best forward. It's not even close. Every single player that, you could have considered an all-star last season has regressed immensely. And we're going to ship off the one guy who, mind you, isn't entering UFA status. He's entering RFA status, so you still control his rights. We're going to ship that guy off for a fucking goalie when you have UPL playing the way he is and you have Devin Levi waiting in the wings to be the future franchise goaltender. We're going to go trade Middlestat for that guy. Okay, if we're going to have a conversation about Casey Middlestat and trading him, here's how I feel about it. If you're going to trade for him, you need more pieces, and it doesn't involve a goaltender. You need a guaranteed third-line center. Maybe not a guy that's going to contribute the way Casey does, but a third-line center. You need a defenseman, and you need another bottom 6 winger, a guy who I preferably has some jam, has some grit. I know people hate those buzzwords on Twitter, but that's what you need because the team has none of it. None of it. Absolutely none of it. The most jam and grit on this hockey team right now is from fucking Peyton Krebs. So for me, go get me those 3 pieces: a third-line center, a third-line winger, and probably a jam grit guy. A third-line jam grit winger, and then an actual top 4 defenseman. Those are my asks for Casey Middlestat. And I don't care if you got to package a pick with him to go get it. That's what I want for Casey. If that's not what I'm getting back, see ya. I'm good. Don't need it. Bye. Like I have no interest in trading the best forward of the team for a team who can't seem to figure out how to score consistently unless you're getting at least 3 NHL ready now pieces. That's what I want. I don't want anything less than that. Anything less than that, I'm good. See ya. Let's hit the peanut gallery here for some of your comments. From Kevin, when it's a home game, there is a 75% chance they lose. From Josh Picaro, did you see the Granato presser? Couldn't answer Hamilton's question about them not being aware in front of them that the coach of this team has no idea how much his team puck watches. Incredible. I'll have to double check. I'm sure Brian Kozel has those, or Harrington has those questions tweeted out. Adams has done nothing to help this team. From Dave H. Goalie not issue this year. Couldn't agree with you more. I'm assuming that means you're sleeping. The leadership can't even realize that their issue isn't goaltending. Wow. Yeah, it isn't goaltending. It hasn't been goaltending. Anyone who says it's the goaltending, I'm sorry, you're a porn bot. Like, pretty bad that your scoring is so bad your goalie would need a shutout for the team to win. Not wrong, Kevin. Should have never signed Granato to that extension. I don't disagree with you. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Keep icing the same roster and lines thinking the results will be different. It's a joke. No, it's not going to be different. And that's the thing. That's the most infuriating thing. It is Okposo, and don't get me wrong, I'm glad he's, great. Kyle Okposo, probably what will be his final season. He scored tonight. Fantastic. Great. Awesome. Technically, he didn't even score. It happened to hit his skate, and then a St. Louis defenseman shoveled the puck into his own net. So we technically didn't even score a goal tonight. If you really want to be real about it, a Buffalo player did not shoot a puck into the goal tonight, even though we won 3-1. So technically, we've only scored 1 goal in the last 2 games. You want to be real about it. I hold in such high regard those late 90s, early 2000s teams that went out there and just were willing to lay their face in front of a fucking puck to win a hockey game. And then you go from those teams to the teams of the mid 2000s, 05 to 07. These teams that, were never really out of hockey games, went out there, played their asses off. And I'll say it right now, the Tank team played with more heart and aggression than this fucking team right now on a consistent basis. You never, ever, ever wondered whether the Tank team showed up to play or not. They showed up to play. They wanted to prove all the haters wrong, all the doubters wrong, all the pro-Tank people wrong. And you never, ever questioned whether or not they wanted to win a hockey game. And that is an absolute truth. And this team, it's constant. I wouldn't say that, at least in the last, 12 games, you sit there and question whether or not, they want to win or they don't want to win or they care or they don't want to care. Because I think they definitely care. It's just, my dad, we made a good point. Sorry to kind of jump from point to point. Made a good point that, you killed yourself this season with all of those losing streaks to start the season. And then, you look at their record over the last 12 games. It hasn't been bad, but you dug yourself too deep of a hole. You didn't get any loser points even when you were losing games like today or the first game back from the All-Star break. You weren't getting the loser points. Could you imagine if you even take half, not even say half, give me a quarter of any 1-game loss this season and give me a loser point on that, you're right back in the playoff hunt. The Sabres just didn't have the ability to grind out games to at least get them to overtime so you could have a chance to get at least 1 point out of it. It's actually impressive how bad they've been in these close games. It's impressive. Really, really is. And what's even more impressive than that is how bad the fucking power play is. I tweeted out that video from Along Came Polly, the infamous basketball scene. I said, this is essentially the Sabres power play. And I tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. It just looks chaotic. Looks like there's no system or structure. It's just Lily throwing up prayers in the net and yelling rain dance, Rain Man, old school. That's literally what the power play has been all season long under Matt Ellis. And you see all these other coaching changes take place. St. Louis night, was it Davidson who took over the bench from Berube? Was it Davidson? I can't remember the name of the coach, but their power play went from like 31st to 10th. Sometimes you just need a new face. Whether that face is Don Granato or Matt Ellis or whomever it is behind that bench. Sometimes you just need some new faces in the room, and I really don't know what more there is to say other than fire the coaching staff. I think we're there, aren't we? We're there. I'm gonna hit some of the comments here from Brian Koziel. Let's see here. Brian Koziel is always on top of things in the post game. Him and Mike Harrington both with some relevant quotes from the loss. So let's see here. Here's a tweet from Mike Harrington. So Tuck 6, Thompson 5, Middlestat 4, Paterka 4 have combined for 19 shots on goal in this game. But were any of them any good chances? Do we remember a single one? Like Renato said post game, who is getting to net? Is anyone going there? No, they're not. Why is this being talked about now in February? This has been an issue all season long. I've been fucking beating it like a dead horse all season long. Them not getting to the net, them not doing what necessary it is to do below the dots on both sides of the ice is going to cost them an opportunity to play us this year. And lo and behold, here we are in February, and we're now finally talking about it as a coaching staff. Or the coach. Granato, we didn't go to the net. I don't think we were willing to work. We wanted an easier game. They're so soft, bro. That's a quote from the fucking head coach. That's a quote from your head coach. We didn't go to the net. I don't think we were willing to work. We wanted an easier game. That is a quote from a head coach of a National Hockey League team. Oh my God, fire the whole staff into the sun. Fire the team into the sun, for fuck's sakes. Granato on why the team didn't work hard. I don't think you can explain it. You really want an explanation? You didn't work, period. Bro. Granato on home woes. Obviously, it's been different at home than on the road. Says he knows there's a difference. Yeah, it's the same fucking thing as last year, dude. You sucked at home last year, too. Granato, all of them from the foundation. All of them problems from the foundation is not working, and not working in front of the net. This is the primary, I'm assuming primary reason they're losing games. Again, yeah, 100%. From Mike Harrington, Akposo told me Braden Shen said on the ice the St. Louis Blues had a similar play in recent game, high sticking called and then rescinded. Said Parayko should still be held responsible for a stick being in the face of an opponent. My take, yep, it's not a follow through. Yeah, that was a Bush League non-call for sure, without a doubt. Skinner, I think we can do more trying to get the puck inside and get second chance opportunities. Says they have to get ugly ones until they started feeling good again. Every team needs to score ugly goals. I don't understand just the concept there. Yeah, man, every team has to go do those things to score goals. And we're not some, super finesse team. We're not. We just aren't. We have a top six that isn't producing consistently. Every single player inside top six has regressed with the exception of J.D. Paterka, who has been arguably your best player, and Casey Middlestat, Tage Thompson, who we all had pegged for a possibly 100-point player this season, 50-goal scorer, and not even going to come close. We lucky if he hits 25 goals in the season. Let's be real. Dylan Cousins has been laughable, absolutely laughable. Alex Tuck, who, in my opinion, I can say this is I would say the same for Tage, has been playing hurt all season since the last week of preseason. And unfortunately, when you get hurt that early on, it's not like you get much time to just recover and recoup and get back 100%. Chances are he hasn't been close to 100% all season. Same thing with Tage. But nobody's producing, nobody's picking up the slack. You just can't expect your second year JJ Paterka and Casey Middlestat to be those two guys. You just can't. You can't. Let's see here. More from the Peanut Gallery. One bright spot on the power play, we didn't give up a shorty. Yeah, I guess so. Sad thing is Pagula not going to fire these two guys. We're stuck with them too. Yeah, we are, because they're like we're not even we're not even paying Granato any of his extension yet. His extension doesn't kick in until next year. I'm not sure what GG Rip Buff. At least we didn't wait all day for an L. Maybe you. I mean, I'm sorry if I'm my ignorance. I'm not sure what that means. The supposed good month we had in January featured 2 wins over San Jose and 1 win each over Montreal, Chicago, Pittsburgh, and LA. LA is the only good team listed there. This is 100% a lotto team. UPL is 967 save percentage last month. Yeah, again, it's not an issue of goaltending, and it hasn't been for a long time. From Jody Jones, who has to go, Adams or Granato? Most disappointing season in years. I think it's got to be Granato first, right? It would be Granato. I think Kevin Adams is a yes man for the Pagulas. And here's the thing, like, in terms of getting deals done and signing extensions, you have to be happy with things Don Granato has done, because I really do think Tage Thompson will live up to that contract, and I think it'll be one of the best contracts in all of hockey when everything's said and done. Same thing with Dylan Cousins. I think he's going to outperform what he's being paid. I think that this is just a down year. Samuelson, jury's definitely still out. I mean, Darlene, he's worth every penny of that. Owen Power, we hope, will be worth every penny of that. And if you're projecting to be paying guys by their projected ceiling, if you're paying guys by their projected ceilings, you are getting more than your money's worth if all of these guys do hit and play to their potential and break that glass ceiling. That being said, you look from a trade standpoint, arguably the best trade this GM has made was the Rasmus Ristolainen trade, which was highway robbery. In terms of bringing in rostered players, though, that are going to help you get over the hump, Jordan Greenway. That's it. That's all he's done in 3 years. I'm sorry, that's just not good enough. It's not remotely close to good enough. And anybody who's followed hockey as passionately as me throughout their life, you know that you just can't build teams through your draft and through free agency. You have to make good, sound hockey trades. And right now, he hasn't done it. He hasn't proven that he can. So I think it would be Granato to go first. If this season goes off the rails, I definitely could see him getting fired. But I don't see him getting fired midseason. No way. Not with his extension, not even kicking in yet. Here's an idea. Pablo Barrosa, Mitts and Power to Ottawa for Tkachuk. I don't think Ottawa in their right mind would do that. This game followed the typical pattern. The Sabres go down 1 or 2 goals early. The opposition then sits back and allows the Sabres to play their pansy perimeter possession game. Lots of shots. Yeah, they're a perimeter hockey team. That's all they are. That's all they've been all season, is a perimeter team. They're not willing to go to the middle of the ice, get on the inside, and take a beating to score goals. You have like one guy, really, that does it, and that's Skinner. I mean, you could say Zach Benson, but Zach Benson's a rookie. Like, I would expect nothing less of a kid just wanting to, earn his keep on a hockey team. I just hope he doesn't fall into those same bad habits that you see from a lot of these players on this team. What happened to let's do it for RJ? They should be ashamed of themselves. And it's not just the loss, it's the lack of effort. It's really sad. Couldn't agree more. Another example of the boys club organization. So sick of it. No effort at all. Team lacks leadership. From Josh Picaro. I want our reporters to hold Granato and Adams' feet in the fire during the postseason press conference. I guarantee you Mike Harrington will. 100%. Extension not even started yet. Unreal, more suffering to come. Yeah, I mean, I don't understand after one season why you would sign him to a long-term extension. That in itself is mind-blowing to me. So I don't know, man. I think coming out of the All-Star break, you needed, especially with these 2 games, 2 very winnable games, to come out with not a single point in either game. I think this is it for me. I think I'm going to start looking at draft guides I think I'm going to start having draft analysts on the team to talk about draft. I think I'm going to start thinking lotto picks. And I won't lie to you. I definitely couldn't imagine myself being in this position to start the season in February. I think we were all so optimistic what this season could bring and breaking this playoff drought. And, all of the fun we had last year, even though it was a season that ended without the playoffs, all the optimism at the end of the year, the smiles, the camaraderie with these players, all the goal scoring, and Devin Levi setting things on fire at the end of the year. And I've said it 100 times. I'll say it more. Like if he starts his NHL career 1 week earlier, the Sabres make the playoffs last season. And it had to all blow up in their face because you just didn't make the correct moves in the offseason, thinking that just signing Connor Clifton and Eric Johnson were going to correct so many problems. And the only addition offensively you made was a kid you drafted at 18 years old in Zach Benson, who has shown a lot of flashes, has showed a lot of promise, and, has been a great prospect for them. But at this point, it looks like we should have sent him back to junior. I know it was a tough decision to make. I think most GMs probably would have made the same decision to keep him up. But I think most GMs probably wouldn't have as soft of a team as we do. And the one thing that worries me the most with Zach Benson is that he catches on to this mentality this early in his career and leads to bad habits like it has, like we've seen with this team so far this season. And I don't want to see that for him. I really, really don't. So I wish we were in a situation where he could go play in Rochester and go win a Calder Cup. I'd rather watch them right now than watch the Sabres, to be quite honest, because at least they have a chance to win a championship. Might take a ride down the 90 and just, go to Rochester for some games this year because that's probably the only team we're going to see any winning hockey from, to be 100% honest. From Jean-Marc Chenet. I remember when the season started, we were worried about goaltending, not the problem. Yep, you're right. What crazy-ass organization does that? What crazy-ass organization does that this one does? Does what this one does, I'm assuming you meant. Oh, wow, I went that way at Thanksgiving. Sorry, you were hopeful up until now. From Gargallant, fire everyone. Agreed. Couldn't agree more. Rochester, not that good either, bro. I watch their games too. It's got to be more enjoying than this, man. And at least you're banking on promise. And I don't know. So I don't really have much more to say, guys. I've been on for about 30 minutes now. Over at my parents' house, my old man's house on location, and I really don't know what else to say. Sabres lose 3-1. Another team you should beat, 100%. Another team that you should be better than. If you, on paper, you look at our team versus theirs, I would say that we probably have more talent on our team, and you just have talent that's not living up to expectations. And I don't really know anymore. I don't have, like Renato, I don't have answers other than the fact that the whole coaching staff should be fired. I think that's where we're at this point. You see it happen in LA, you see it happen in San Jose, you see it with St. Louis, and their teams, look better thus far. Even though LA has been more recent. So one last comment. Rochester games are fun to go to. Agreed. Again, at least they have a chance at winning something this year. So that being said, guys, remember this is brought to you by Fatty Beer Company, Western New York's premier market and tap room. 8 different Western New York locations with over 300 beers to choose from. One of Western New York's only kid and dog friendly bars, open 7 days a week from 11:30 a.m. till 10:30 p.m. and later, with live entertainment, music, and trivia at all locations. Go check out Fatty Beer at Fatty Beer on Instagram and Twitter. And of course, Buffalo Logo Apparel, one of my favorite places to get my shirts, my hats, and hoodies for all of my Buffalo sports needs. It's where I did all of my Christmas shopping for all of those who share the same passion as me for the Sabres and the Bills. I went to at Buffalo Logo Co. on Instagram and Twitter. Go check them out. I am Duane for Two Goalies, One Mic. Make sure you go check us out at Two Goalies, One Mic on Instagram, Twitter, even Facebook. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Two Goalies, One Mic, and should give us a listen. So you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a great time tomorrow, Super Bowl. And I don't really have a horse in that race, but I'm going to say go 49ers, I guess, right? One last comment. I've already sold all my tickets. I'll go see McDavid March 9th. I'm a fan. I am a TV fan for the rest of the year. I don't blame you, bud. You guys enjoy your weekend. Happy Super Bowl Sunday, and we'll talk to you later. See you later.
All the ups, but we felt the down. Streets are boarded up in this border town. All the small secret landmarks, shortcuts and routes, crude maps that we drew to make sense of our daily. Ladies' names we call it flowers, carrots, corn. All say something different than they did before. Like the sort of